We have a special Mesonet weather report today, saying goodbye and happy retirement to a fixture on the show. SUNUP's Curtis Hare does the honors.
Well, normally in the Mesonet weather report, Wes Lee is sitting right in front of your TV in front of a blue screen, and I'm not usually here. But Wes, this is a little bit of a different type of Mesonet weather report because you're officially retiring.
Yes, it's been 35 years as of last week with Oklahoma State. It's been a wonderful career. I've enjoyed every minute of it, but it's time to move on down the road and let somebody else move into this position.
As it happens, but let's reflect a little bit. You know, you've been on SUNUP for a long time, so talk a little bit about your kind of experience with SUNUP and, giving weather to producers, or weather reports to producers out in the state.
Well, weather is not a formal training subject for me. I'm an entomologist by training. So 7 years ago, I got an offer to go to work for the Oklahoma Mesonet. It's been a wonderful 7 years. SUNUP is a big part of that. Getting recognized around the state. Every farm show I go to, there's at least a dozen people say, "Hey, I saw you this morning on SUNUP." So it's been a lot of fun. Learning about weather and learning how to present that information to farmers and ranchers around the state.
And one thing that's great about Oklahoma that I just noticed, like we were talking about it off camera, of just being in coffee shops, that weather is, I think, maybe the #1 topic here. It's the only thing I talk about with my dad.
Right. It's an icebreaker for anybody. You go to any coffee shop in any farm community, and it's going to be the topic that's discussed more than anything else.
So going forward, what are your plans?
Well, I'm ready to retire. I do have some other ideals, other things in mind, but for the most part, it's going to be some relaxation, some increased vacation time, and I'm really looking forward to playing and spending more time with my grandkids.
Well, I mean, you definitely earned it, but before we let you go, we got to have at least one more Mesonet weather report. So is this warm, dry weather going to stick around?
It sure appears that it is. We tend to flip-flop back and forth between El Nino and La Nina cool season weather pattern. We're definitely in the La Nina pattern right now that tends to give us those drier than normal, warmer than normal conditions. So I do expect this warm weather and dry weather to continue through the cool season months this year. Hopefully by next spring we can revert back to a normal weather pattern, whatever that is for Oklahoma.
Do you think that this is going to be kind of a normal thing going forward? Is that something you're thinking?
Well, our temperatures are definitely getting warmer, especially in the winter months. We're seeing actually as a whole more rainfall for the state. Unfortunately, more of it's falling in the eastern half of the state and less in the western half of the state. So it's just something we're going to have to get used to, it appears, going forward.
Alrighty, thanks, Wes. Really appreciate all your hard work for SUNUP, but I think you have one more thing to say before you sign off, huh?
Yes. One last time. Here's Gary with a weather report on rainfall.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, for the worst kept secret in Oklahoma, yes, we do have more drought on the drought monitor showing up, and it's that severe to extreme drought. So let's get right to the new map and show you the bad news. Basically, our extreme drought, that's the red color on the drought monitor map, the D3. Remember, it goes from D0, which is not drought, it's abnormally dry conditions. And then the drought intensification scale goes from D1 to D4. D4 is the worst, of course, but those red colors are showing up way too much on the newest drought monitor map. We now have basically the entire northeastern quarter of the state in that extreme drought, D3. We also have increases down in southeastern Oklahoma and also in southwest Oklahoma. And of course, surrounding those areas, we have more of that severe drought. That's the darker brown color. And of course, more moderate drought. That's the lighter brown color. And we have some more abnormally dry conditions showing areas in danger of going into drought if we don't get more precipitation sometime soon. And you can see on the 1 week change for the drought monitor, this is the map that shows basically the 1 class intensification or 1 class improvement. In Oklahoma, it's probably the worst across most of the country. Maybe down there in Nevada and Arizona they have a bit more, but basically the entire eastern half of the state saw an increase. So not good news for Oklahoma, but we have to keep pushing these drought intensifications until we get precipitation, unfortunately. I tend to show you a lot of really bad looking precipitation maps. Here's some other indicators of drought in Oklahoma. This is called quick dry. This sort of looks at the vegetation on a satellite map and determines those quicker changes and those basically degrading of the vegetation to show where those more rapid drought changes are occurring. And you can see from this map up in northeast Oklahoma, that scale looks really bad. A lot of the worst looking colors in that region. But really across the state, we're seeing indicators of at least the last 30 days that we're seeing some drought intensification going on in the state of Oklahoma. And finally, we take a look at the relative greenness map. Again, just a sort of a snapshot of the vegetation across the state. Really very few areas showing green vegetation, at least relative to the greenest that we've seen over the last 10 years. So down across southwestern up through north central Oklahoma and even across northeast Oklahoma where those worst drought areas are, we see really bad vegetation conditions in the state of Oklahoma. So I don't see any indications of big time precipitation anytime soon, so expect more of these bad changes on the drought monitor map until we get some of that rainfall. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.